A congressional investigation has found some of the largest tax prep companies spent years sharing Americans' financial data with tech giants. The report details how TaxSlayer, H&R Block, and TaxAct allegedly gave out sensitive information to Meta and Google without consent or appropriate disclosures. That's a potential violation of federal law. According to the report, the companies allegedly shared details about filing status, adjusted gross income, and the size of tax refunds. That information was sometimes misused for targeted advertising. The tax prep companies told lawmakers the data has been scrambled to help protect privacy, but the report also said the companies were not fully aware of how much information was being exposed to the tech platforms. Inflation in the U.S. cooled in June for the 12th month in a row. According to the Consumer Price Index, annual inflation slowed to 3% last month. That's a sharp drop from June of last year, when inflation spiked to 9.1%, the fastest annual rate since 1981. Underlying inflation also cooled. The annual rate landed just below economists' expectations. On a monthly basis, prices increased by 0.2%, less than the 0.4% seen in May.
The federal student loan system seeing some changes. The new income-driven repayment plan called SAVE, which stands for Saving on a Valuable Education. Under the new plan, borrowers could see monthly bills cut in half. There's also a forgiveness component after a decade of payments. Depending on how many people enroll, this plan could cost the government up to $361 billion over 10 years, down some from the $400 billion cost of Biden's original student loan forgiveness plan. While some parts of SAVE will be implemented this summer, others take effect in 2024. The Justice Department is asking the federal appeals court to block an upcoming deposition of former President Donald Trump. That's according to a new court filing. The deposition is on the 2019 lawsuit brought on by former FBI agent Peter Strzok. Strzok alleges Trump's political vendetta against him made the FBI fire him unjustly. The DOJ says Trump's under oath testimony is needed because FBI Director Chris Wray, Trump's former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, as well as others, have testified about the decision to fire Strzok. Now, the unusual move is an attempt by the federal agency to correct what it believes was a mistake by a lower court judge. The judge ruled that Trump could be deposed.
On Capitol Hill, FBI Director Christopher Wray confronting a major political storm.
Coming before the House Judiciary Committee amid heightened tensions between the Bureau, Justice Department, and congressional Republicans. Top GOP members accusing the FBI and DOJ of being influenced by politics amid the Hunter Biden criminal investigation.
ABC's M. Nguyen has the latest from Washington.
And tell Congress.
Today, testifying before the House Judiciary Committee, FBI Director Christopher Wray facing questions from some of his harshest critics on Capitol Hill. Committee Chair Representative Jim Jordan has repeatedly accused the FBI and Justice Department of using their federal resources for political purposes.
The work the men and women of the FBI do to protect the American people goes way beyond the one or two investigations that seem to capture all the headlines.
This comes as Republicans continue attacking the handling of the Hunter Biden investigation, which ended with the president's son agreeing to plead guilty to a pair of tax-related misdemeanors and entering into an agreement enabling him to avoid prosecution on one felony gun charge.
If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal.
Top GOP members have cited claims from IRS whistleblowers who allege the Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney David Weiss had mishandled the probe. Gary Shapley, one of the IRS whistleblowers, accused Weiss of not having full authority over the Hunter Biden investigation and claimed Weiss had sought to be named as special counsel. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says neither claim is true. This week, Weiss sending a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee denying he ever requested special counsel designation. Weiss has said he was granted ultimate authority over the investigation.
Republicans today will try to claim that it is the FBI and not these witnesses who are somehow corrupt.
Including a think tank co-director, Gal Luft, whom House Republicans say has important information that would prove corruption charges against Hunter Biden in their own investigation. But Luft has been charged by the DOJ with illicit arms trafficking after allegedly failing to register as an agent of China in the U.S. Luft is currently fleeing prosecution and has denied the allegations on Twitter. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has previously said he's considering starting an impeachment inquiry over Garland's handling of the Hunter Biden investigation. M. Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
Ukraine is getting assistance from G7. The forum, including President Joe Biden, agreed unanimously to send a new aid package to Ukraine. The National Security Council Senior Director for Europe, Amanda Sloat, wouldn't give specifics about the package, but did call it, quote, substantial. In addition to that, the alliance has scheduled its inaugural meeting of the NATO-Ukraine Council, which it shows the support to Ukraine was upgraded from a commission. Biden is also set to have a one-on-one meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, where Sloat says they will discuss extensive support for Ukraine.
In Mexico, authorities in the western part of the country are describing an attack with explosives against police as unprecedented. Officials say members of the prosecutor's office also targeted. Police say a coordinated series of blasts were a trap organized by a drug cartel. The incident left 6 people dead, 12 injured. Investigators say law enforcement was lured into the area after a volunteer search group received a fake tip. Authorities say the anonymous caller reported that the bodies of missing people were buried there. At least 6 people dead and 5 are missing after heavy rains led to flooding in southwestern Japan. 19 people also hurt. The heavy rainfall that has been ongoing since the beginning of the month. Besides the flooding, the rain has also led to dangerous mudslides.
Back here at home, look outside with live cam. 94 degrees, 12:30, 94 degrees, and it's going to just keep going up.
And not a drop of rain in sight. Even the clouds that we saw about 30 minutes ago aren't even there anymore. We are seeing sunshine take over, and that is going to stick with us throughout the remainder of the afternoon, helping those temperatures crank up yet again. And it's not just the heat that we are having to deal with. That's the kicker, right? It's also the humidity. So this is a look at dew points, how we measure the moisture in the lower levels of the atmosphere. They are in the 70s, very much in the oppressive range. So you can feel that stickiness and that mugginess the second that you step outside. It's not great. Temperature right now 92, but with that oppressive humidity in place, it already feels like 102 degrees here in San Antonio. Now it is a little breezy at times. Winds are generally out of the south right now at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. We've already seen some wind gusts upwards of about 20 miles per hour, and I think we could see a few more later on this afternoon and especially this evening, combined with the heat. So 104 is that forecast high here in San Antonio, with plenty of sunshine out there this afternoon. 100 still by 7 p.m., feeling even hotter. So it's still going to be hot for any Wednesday evening plans that you may have out and about. Only 89 by 10 p.m. And you can see as we look ahead to our temperature trend throughout the rest of the work week and into this weekend and even into the beginning of next week, a whole lot of pink on that graphic. So yes, this heat is not going anywhere. So coming up a little bit later on, we'll talk more about this. Plus, we'll get you a look at some Saharan dust as well as the tropics. That's in a few.
I like that full graphic.
A former member of the infamous Manson family cult getting her first taste of freedom after more than 5 decades behind bars, and some already speaking out against her release, including her own daughter. Now to the former Charles Manson follower released from prison after a half-century behind bars.
Leslie Van Houten received a life sentence for her role in 2 of the Manson family's notorious killings. ABC's Eva Pilgrim with details on her newfound freedom.
Former Manson family cult member Leslie Van Houten is a free woman after serving 53 years in prison for her role in the cult's killing spree.
The right decision would have been to release her 30 years ago. Between her second and third trials, she was out on bail for 6.5 months.
Her attorneys have argued Van Houten, just 19 at the time, was brainwashed by Charles Manson.
I broke no laws, not God's law nor man's law.
When she and others broke into Lino LaBianca's home in 1969, brutally stabbing the grocery store owner and his wife to death. Her parole recommendations blocked for years by California's governors, until in May, a judge sided with Van Houten, citing her remorse, realistic parole plans, and support from family and friends. LaBianca's daughter, Corey, telling ABC News in a statement, "My family and I have been strong for 50 years. The decision to release her was wrong."
I think that Most people who live in California are going to be appalled by this decision.
From behind bars, Van Houten spoke with Diane Sawyer about her part in the searing act of violence.
I stabbed Mrs. LaBianca in the lower back about 16 times.
What kind of punishment do you deserve? What is enough?
I don't know when enough punishment will be enough for me.
Now 5 years after Manson's death in prison, Van Houten has been moved to a transitional living facility.
Outside with live cam, no clouds, just a lot of blue sky and a lot of sun and a lot of heat.
A lot of heat, yeah, exactly. Did y'all step outside this morning? Incredibly muggy?
Oh, he was at the zoo.
Oh, that's right. You were at the zoo with Science with Sarah. How was that?
Sweating.
Yeah, I bet. I opened the back door to let the dogs out this morning, and the second I did, I just immediately felt the humidity rush in. Yeah, our low today was only 80 degrees, so definitely a sticky start. That's actually 5 degrees above the average for this time of year. So far, we are at 92, but with plenty of sunshine later on this afternoon, that forecast high is around 104, well above average, and even close to the record of 105 that was set just last year. So again, we'll talk about these toasty temperatures and that outlook moving forward, as well as get you a look at that the tropical activity coming up in a few. All right, no surprise. We are gearing up for another hot day across South Central Texas because we've seen the sunshine quickly work its way back into the area after finding some morning clouds. You can see how temperatures are responding already in the 90s for the vast majority of the area. 92 here in town, 99 in Pleasanton. It's already 99 in Carrizo Springs as well. Slightly cooler just off to our west, 86 in Hondo, 90 right now in Rock Springs up there in Edwards County, but not cooler whenever you factor in all of the humidity still in place. So those heat index values well into the triple digits for many of us. Feels like 108 in Gonzales this lunchtime hour, 109 the feels like temperature in New Braunfels. Once again, across portions of the Winter Garden off to our southwest, current feels like temperature is 107 for places like Carrizo Springs and stretching over to Cotulla. So here in San Antonio, as we continue on through the afternoon hours, by the peak heating time of the day, when we see that forecast high reach around 103 to 104. Those feels like temperatures well into the 108 to 110 degree range. And even so, later on this evening, for any Wednesday evening plans that you may be stepping out and about to, mostly clear skies, but it is still going to be plenty warm out there. 93 for the air temperature at 9 p.m. Still feeling like the triple digits though. And speaking of which, including yesterday, so far this year, we've hit 17 days in San Antonio where the heat index value has reached at least 105 degrees or has even climbed above that. So today we will likely hit 18. That's just behind 1948 of 24. So we're going to be working our way back up to that over the next several days with the moisture still in place. So that is just another reason. Please continue to stay hydrated out there. It's not just us here in South Central Texas seeing this heat. The vast majority of the state of Texas is. Excessive heat warnings combined with some heat advisories in place. And you can see later on this afternoon, triple digit temperatures expected for a good portion of Texas, potentially reaching 109 in Midland, 102 in El Paso. At least it's a little bit more of a drier heat the farther west that you go. Not so much for us though here in San Antonio. So there's that high pressure system off to our east and our northeast. Some rain for places like Chicago, Milwaukee, even some spotty showers across portions of the deep south. Really across the upper Midwest, that's where the severe weather risk is for the remainder of this Wednesday. Again, not even any notable rain chances for us here in San Antonio. I want to briefly touch on the Saharan dust that we've been talking about. A very light concentration possible over the next couple of days. Not really going to affect us that much. So that is the good news. Maybe a slight haze in the sky, but that's pretty much it. We'll monitor into next week to see if we can't find maybe a little bit more of that activity. But again, plenty of time to monitor that. And then really briefly, Saharan dust actually hinders tropical development. We've seen big plumes of that move across the Atlantic. So the only thing really monitoring out in the Atlantic basin is this little area well east of Bermuda has a 50% chance for tropical development. And then out in the eastern Pacific, this is Tropical Storm Calvin. It's going to continue moving west out into the central Pacific. So no issues for us in terms of tropical activity. The only issue is going to continue to be that dangerous heat over the next several days. So we'll continue to keep you posted.
All right, thanks, Mia. Hollywood is releasing what they hope will be several summer blockbusters, and they're hoping one movie in particular will help draw big crowds to theaters. Tom Cruise is looking to boost the summer box office again. His new Mission Impossible movie is out.
ABC's Chris Connolly explains why Hollywood is hoping that it's the start of a rebound.
With sizzling stunts like this one spurring adrenaline-fueled expectation. Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 has hit theaters at last. In Hollywood, rapturous word of a 98% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The fever dream possibility of a $250 million opening weekend.
Oh, very excited.
Adventure, action, daredevil stuff I would never do.
But it took some work to get here. Remember Cruise, the producer's impassioned COVID-era plea to his crew?
I care about you guys. If you're not going to help me, you're gone. Okay? Hang on!
Its opening hopes to reverse the box office versus mega budget issues that have been experienced by some recent franchise releases.
There's really this sentiment right now in Hollywood that, rising tides lift all boats. And so Tom has even taken to campaigning for his competition.
So he did on social media. Dead Reckoning will start the countdown to Barbieheimer. That's July 21st, the date that'll see the debut of both Christopher Nolan's How He Built the Bomb epic Oppenheimer.
This is the most important thing that ever happened in the history of the world.
And Greta Gerwig's eye-poppingly pink Barbie with Margot Robbie.
Get that Barbie!
And Ryan Gosling as Ken.
So cool.
AMC saying 20,000 tickets have already been sold for a makeshift Barbieheimer double feature. Will it be enough to fend off those summertime blues?
Ethan, did you make it? Are you okay?
Not sure about the other ones, but the Mission Impossible. But it's just the first, so that means there's more to come.
It's Tom Cruise. He's going to go big.
And speaking of our own superstars, look at there. There's two of them right there.
Oh, David.
Yeah, I know. We're not anything like Tom Cruise, if that's what you were expecting. Well, everyone is hyped up about Amazon Prime Days, but we have several other deals to tell you about in our deals of the day.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited for that. Also, Sip and Putt, you're looking for a good time. It's something to do with the family. Brett is here. And what makes your place stand out?
We're open late to beat the Texas heat.
So important.
It's a realistic 18-hole putting course, so
open till midnight. And
open till midnight.
Yes.
Last tee time.
All right.
Sounds fun.
Okay, and Elizabeth Martinez with Naco 210 Mexican Eatery is here to save you time on making mole. How?
We have a pre-made mole. It would take about 20 hours to make this guy. So it's a from scratch, almond-based, all the natural ingredients mole that you just add water, 5 minutes, and you get a beautiful homemade.
And look how beautiful that looks. Ooh,
and we're going to show you, an easier way to present enchiladas.
All right, and we're giving you a sneak peek at the Magic Theater's newest production, The Lightning Thief Percy Jackson musical. It's a great time.
Plus, it's a fun free film event for you and your favorite Fido. Plus, you get a free swag bag. We're going to tell you where and when.
That and much more coming up on SA Live.